Kareem Jackson. I'm live in the Philippines, and you are once again on this set with me, live right now in the Philippines. I'm excuse the noise right now, but we are actually right here, right now, doing this video for you. This is actually part 3 of the series. You've actually seen already part 1, which is a fantastic Power of 50 times earnings. That was the living on $500 a month. And then part 2 was touching on the dollar versus peso conversion rate and the actual Zen lifestyle. Well, now I want to talk to you about part 3, which is one of my favorite. This actually is a very personal video for me. This is one of the most difficult things I've ever had to achieve or overcome in my lifetime, actually. But for me, the making it happen, that's the one. The actual fact of now that you understand and now that you're trying to make it happen, the steps that you go through to do that actually are life-changing, obviously, but for me it was the hardest thing. In my life, I really thought that I was in control. I thought that I was happy. I thought that I'd achieved those goals that I was supposed to achieve. Award-winning entrepreneur, award-winning writer, publisher. I was in the United States Air Force. I was from a business family. I was there. And when the recession hit the US, actually, and I started seeing people around me, their businesses crumbling, their dreams just being wiped off the map, and them being stuck. And I've seen numerous people from the beginning to actually 2 weeks ago. I have seen people commit suicide because they've lost their things. Their ego was so powerful that they actually killed themselves. That's not funny, but it is seriously something ticky up here, because the truth is, if your ego is so into you that you commit suicide when you lose your car or your house or your job, those are true signs you don't like your life. So this third part here, we're talking about making it happen, taking the steps to reinvent yourself, to create the life that maybe you've seen in my videos, you've shown your appreciation with me, and I'm addressing specifically a few actual messages that I've gotten personally from you fantastic fans out there. Making it happen. The first step is realizing, what would I do? What would you do if tomorrow, overnight, you were 50 times richer? You had 50 times more free time. You had the ability to escape racism. If you were not a nigga anymore, if you were not discriminated against anymore, if you were not a woman anymore, if you were just a person with skills and talents and ambition, what would you do? What would you do that if overnight you could go from semi or either fully retired overnight? What would you do? You need to answer that question actually in the part of making it happen. You need to kind of answer it. Maybe you write it down to understand these are the 1, 2, 3, 10, 100 things I would do if these were taken away from my existence, if I didn't have to exist this way. And then from that point, I would actually realize that this situation that you're going forward in, the new change, the reinvention, is actually an opportunity. You know, not many people fear opportunities, but they do fear change. They do fear stress. They do fear the unknowing of certain things. So my thought with you in this next segment is to really take into consideration, what would you do? And realizing and switching the paradigm and understanding it's an opportunity. It is not a challenge. It's nothing to fear. It is the next evolution of your life, actually. And hopefully you'll find happiness or more happiness in this phase. The next is you've got to make it happen. You've got to achieve the freedom. And here are 10 steps that I've actually gone through. The part overall is shedding your ego. You know, shedding your ego. Ego to me is anything that is not you. Your car, your shoes, your notoriety, your popularity, your job, your career, your business. Those are not you. In the recession, one thing that we realize, when you lose everything and you just got you, maybe you lost your wife, your husband, your family, your kids, your business, your car, whatever, and you just got you. And maybe you're working at McDonald's, or you're reinventing your company, or you're on unemployment, or you're on welfare for the first time in your life. You really have time to sit down and think about, who am I? Well, this time we're going to be in control of it, because we're going to make it happen. We're not going to wait for the outside sources to make it happen. We're going to come together and we're going to make it happen for ourselves. So step number 1 is you've got to finally get fed up. The strongest motivation is when you're sick and tired of being sick and tired. That's the biggest motivation. Step 2, you've got to take time and truly assess your life. Like I've said before, Go through everything that you own, all the things you have that you do not use, the crap in the garage, tally that up. That's actually wealth that you have actually thrown in the trash can. But you want to know how much that is because it might help you to get fed up a little bit. You want to then take your check, whether it's weekly, monthly, quarterly, annually, whatever, and you want to subtract all this stuff, the bills I'm talking about, and then you want to see what's left. And you want to know that's truly what your wealth is. You want to assess your life. The number 3, the truth is you want to find out your true wealth, which is taking all of those debts and find that bottom line, and no matter how hard it is, you want to see what's going on. And most Americans, the reason why we came up with the $500 a month living was not because we looked at the Philippines and we thought, oh, we can live cheap. That wasn't how our research was done. What we did was realize that most Americans, after they've taken all their bills and debts and all that crap, every month they only have around $500 to spend on their own, to go get their nails done, to get their hair done, to go shopping. Most Americans, not the 1%, not the 2%, not the successful ones, but you know, relatively speaking, $1,000, $2,000, $5,000 to some of those really rich people is no different than $500 a month. So that's where we came up with it. You're living, your true wealth is $500. So we want you to learn to take that $500 a month and to really look at assessing your wealth, taking your debt versus your income, and probably you've got $500 a month. Once you get that number, whatever it is for yourself, you want to then go and get ready for the culture shock. Because really, once you change everything, if you're a victim and you've experienced loss and now you're doing this because you have nothing, it's different. And then the person who has it is not happy or wants more and wants to change it and start over. But either way, you're going to go through culture shock. And you got to get ready for that. You got to get ready in your heart to understand this is a passion, this is a goal. I'm not going to stop. Just like working out at the gym. I want pecs, I want a flat stomach, I want a tight butt. So I'm not going to stop doing these reps until I achieve my goal. You need to have that mentality. So then the 6th step is you want to start online. You want to actually utilize one of the powerful tools that you have in front of you every day. But maybe you're playing games, you're working on your work, you're updating Facebook, you're just looking at emails or whatever it is. You're not realizing that is the most powerful tool. That laptop, that computer, the internet is the most powerful tool for you changing your life. So you want to get online. You can find relationships if you're single. You can find resorts, jobs, places to live. You can research and find income. If you're looking at this video, then you're already knowing the power of searching and getting information. So when you make this change, whether it's to Iowa or whether it's to the Philippines, you know a little bit more about what you're getting into. You learn and study their culture, their population, their demographic, so you understand is that I want to be like that. So I'm going to study them. Don't study from the perspective of I want to take my life and move it over here. Or I want to take my life and upgrade it over here. Although we do have features in my magazines about upgrading your lifestyle. This series is not about that. This series is looking over there, realizing those people are happy, they're stable, they're successful, and that is what I want. So then you're looking at it from that perspective. We call it an optimistic view of whatever you're going through. For our case, it's an optimistic view of the Philippines. Then we get to number 7, you guys. We want to then figure out how we can be realistic. You've got to be realistic. If you're going to start over and change your life, you cannot do it by thinking, okay, I'm going to change my life as long as I can keep my Mercedes. Okay, I'm going to change my life as long as I can keep my job. Okay, I'm going to change my life completely, overnight, as long as I can keep my status quo. That's not going to happen. You need to be realistic and understand. You've obviously made some wrong choices. You've gotten some things the way that you don't approve of getting them, or you have a situation that is burdening you. So you've got to actually shed that shit. Go down, be realistic, and be willing to start over again. Because there's something to be learned in the transition. Because if you achieved it, you can always do it again. Unless you were given the Mercedes by your parents, or given the company by your parents or your grandparents. But if you built it yourself, whether it's a job or a career or anything, you can always go back. The opportunity is for you to move forward and to learn something, a lifestyle, and something that's new. So as part of making it happen, then we're coming to the next one, you guys. Number 8 in our 3rd series of Making It Happen is going to be choose a lifestyle. Understand something. Everyone tells you that do what you love and the money will follow. But I don't think many people actually understand what that means. Yes, you may have to work. Yes, you may have to eat ramen noodles. Yes, you may have to be homeless or semi-homeless or whatever it might be to achieve your goal. But you won't be the first person that's ever done that. Believe me, there's many people who are living that way or are making the transition that way. So you're not going to be alone once you get into the grid. But what happens is you need to realize and choose a lifestyle. For me, I grew up with nice things. I grew up traveling abroad. I grew up in fancy hotels in great neighborhoods. I had a fantastic father who provided very well for us. I went to the American International School from elementary school. And I never knew anything but that. There were some hard times, but mainly it was a hard time. It wasn't a hard life. For me, I really though saw that when I got older and got into the push of it and I saw what the Jackson family wanted to achieve, I really didn't want that actually. I thought with my generation, I wanted to experience and learn and bring something different to our family. So I wanted to see, what's that Zen life? And as I've mentioned before, is that Eat, Pray, Love movie. I was already on the track, but that movie kind of set it in stone for me to know I wasn't on the wrong track, is that I wanted to achieve that. I wanted to be happy. I wanted to be content. I wanted to start over from scratch. I want to build the wealth again. Don't get me wrong. I do want to reach where I was at. But this time, I want to do it from this perspective. I want to relax and I want to enjoy it this time. I don't want to be fighting the whole way and beating butt and kicking ass and taking names later the whole way, because when you get there, you got a lot of resentment and there's a lot of crap and things and people around you that maybe you didn't really need to be there, but they're there. This way, I want to do it in a more organic way. So for me, number 8, choosing a lifestyle meant choosing a more zen, organic, wealth-building lifestyle. And I started from the bottom, and then I came up. So, number 9, you guys, I think that you should really save 1 year of the cost of living in that lifestyle. If you're doing the $500 a month thing, the good news is after your plane tickets and visas and all that stuff, you can actually put about $6,000 to $10,000, say $10,000 in the bank and plan on living a year that way. Especially if you're living the year in a Zen way. You're not like on Disneyland. You're actually living it. You're writing your book. You're traveling. You're learning a new culture. You're looking at different cuisines. Maybe if you're a chef in the U.S., you want to learn some new food in the Philippines. You're going to go be a chef at a small canteen kitchen in the Philippines. That might be your dream, working with those people and using those spices. But whatever it is, you need to go through and save a year of what it's going to cost you to live. Not to live crazy, not to live rich, not to be ridiculous. That's not going to change you. But what money will you need to live? And for me, it was $500 a month. I didn't want to go there. Anything I created from that came from $500 a month. If I published, if I did a book, if I went on trips, if I invested into something, if I gave philanthropy, it was money and time that I leveraged and earned and made from that $500 a month, because I didn't want to change my lifestyle to achieve my goals this time. I wanted to achieve my goals this time from my lifestyle. So for yourself, you need to save 1 year at least of what you need to live, and then plan to be where you're going to be for 1 year. If that means you're away from your job, away from your family, away from your house, or moving your family, whatever it is for you, make that change and do 1 year. Save in the bank. Don't invest it, invest your time. Don't invest money, invest your time. Because what happens when you change that, when you have 50 times earnings, you gotta understand that's gonna be something for you. So, once you've figured that out and you've decided that you're gonna invest your time, you've understood the power of 50 times earnings, now we're gonna get ready for the number 10, my final 10th step in how to make it happen for yourself. The final 10th step, in my opinion, my humble opinion, because this has worked for me, is to surrender and enjoy and to grow. You need to surrender to that lifestyle and understand that the Western or the American or the European, the British, the Scottish, or whatever it is, that's not the only way to live. That's not the best way to live. That's not the most progressive way to live. There's a lot of great things about it. I love my country. I love being an American. We have a lot of phenomenal innovations. But when it comes down to long-term marriages, when it comes down to complete families, when it comes down to happiness, serenity, when it comes down to suicide rates, crime rates, when it comes down to the opportunity now, the growing market now, that's not happening in America. Me and my family alone, I think I've got 3 stepmothers, 3 stepfathers. You know, I'm from a regular American family. Well, you know, so when it comes time to surrender, understand that part of making it happen is for you understanding that you're going to surrender to it. You're going to get to that happy place. You're going to grow. You're going to become whatever it is that you've chosen to do, and you got to be able to do that. Imagine right now that I've surrendered. I've actually enjoyed my life for the first time in decades. I don't remember the last time that I could just sleep without having something to help me sleep, or being out, or just get up in the morning early without an alarm clock. I don't remember any of that. So for me, the natural sounds and being here on the set live in the Philippines and building my business again and rebuilding my brand and reinventing myself, and I'm able to write books, magazines about what I want to write about. I'm not really as concerned if they sell or don't sell or do well. I mean, I have a little concerns. There are costs to everything. But it isn't like it's my sole livelihood anymore. It isn't like it's what I am, who I am anymore. I surrendered. So now I love my life. I'm writing about my life. So hopefully my life is exciting to you and you enjoy it. And you enjoy the books and the TV shows and the blogs and the video blogs and the magazines and the events. Hopefully you do. But even for me, I still enjoy my life. I'm still growing. I've learned so much from this. So what I want you to understand in this part 3 of, you know, the Charmed Life series is make it happen for yourself. Please go out, understand, take those 10 steps and figure out what it is and plan a year. Understand, you could do this at 18 years old. You could do this at 68 years old. The point is, take a year. The younger, I was 39. I'm 42 now. I was 30, well, maybe I was 38. I was around 38 or 39. I was going to 40. I did not want to be 40 in what I was in, which many people thought was the dream. You know, I'd achieved it. I was right there. I didn't want to end my life that way. I had seen my friends, that my business associates that were successful, that lost everything, commit suicide, leave their families, go through depression. It was a normal American thing about a decade ago. That was normal, which I didn't regret it. I believed in America, we needed that reality shake of the recession. But what I had learned from it, and I think millions and millions of other people around the world, including Americans, what I learned from it in that process was we really didn't need all this crap. That we've been fed this false sense of success, but the truth of it is, at the end of the day, when you retire, when you're at home, or when you're on your deathbed, or when you're sitting at home and you've worked your whole life, you want to be happy. You want to have had experiences and fulfillments and contributions to the society, and you want to do that. You can't do that in a cubicle. You can't do that if you're living a life that you're broke every week. And if you're broke every week and can't do anything, you can't do that if you kill yourself either. So, making it happen starts with those 10 steps. Take them. Continue to look at my YouTube channel. You can always look at KareemAntonio.com. You can also visit www.thephilippinesmagazine.com. And also, please stay tuned, like and subscribe to my YouTube channel, and continue to tell me what you want to hear, what interests you, and I will continue to give you the things that I think are great as well. I'm living this life. I believe that success is for everyone. You just have to define what it is for you, and I believe that you can. So once again, Kareem Antonio Jackson here. I'm signing out again. I'm on the set. Enjoy life. Enjoy your time. Make it happen for yourself. Kareem Antonio Jackson on the set, and I will talk to you later. Thank you.